Hello, guys. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students preparing for competitive exams in finance like CFA, FRM, and SCR. We have with me one of my students who has been able to clear the FRM Level 2 exam in the May 2024 attempt. His name is Ayush, and he's going to be talking about his journey of preparing for the exam. So, Ayush, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. And for the benefit of the audience, if you can tell us when did you clear level one, and when you were started preparing for level two, what were you doing?
I did my graduation last year from the University of Calcutta, and I gave Part 1 examination in August 2023. And then after I prepared for Part 2, and I gave Part 2 this year in May 2024 and cleared it in first attempt.
Perfect. And when did you join us? Which month?
So I joined you in November, precisely.
Okay. And from that day, okay. So when did you started your preparation for level two?
Right, I still remember that I got my result on 18th August. So I started my preparation approximately like from the first week of September. So I was done with the first reading till November, and thereafter I started solving the question bank and everything.
Okay. Okay. And when you did the first reading, so which book did you found very tough?
Personally, venturing to the FRM program, I have always liked market risk more and investment risk. Trade risk was not something which I always liked in comparison to the other
Okay.
subjects. So yeah, trade risk will definitely be one of the books because of its more quantitative nature and less conceptual. It's just my how I perceive it.
Okay. And when you were completing your portion till November. So on an average in a week, how many chapters you were completing?
So I always planned like so again, I was not going through them rapidly. If I had taken time for one particular chapter which I felt like it was more difficult to me or which was something which needed more attention or more details or like more time, I used to give it ample time. For example, let's just say there's some chapter in operational which I felt like it's easy. So I was venturing through it in like one day. But if there was some chapter in investment risk which I thought needed more time, so I was giving him like two days or like 5 days accordingly.
And from November onwards, you started solving question bank with us, correct?
Right.
And then how many chapters you were solving? Did you had any target that every week I'm going to solve these many numbers of questions?
Right. So I actually went to the entire question bank and calculated how many questions were exactly there. So I did that actually.
Okay,
And I made this plan of like completing the question bank twice because for me, it's more important that I solve more questions as I have done a FRM Part 1 examination. So I was more focused on solving more questions than just reading. So is it four times? Right.
okay,
So that's how I prepared. So till like approximately till Feb, I completed the entire question bank once, and I again completed the entire question bank till May. Like I went through it like times.
okay. And when you were doing the second time, again you were revising the chapter and solving.
Right. So that was my second proper Swayze reading and the solving. So obviously I was not like I was also seeing like what's the level of questions. Like if I felt like this particular chapter doesn't need much of my attention or I'm like very thorough with it, so I was not going through it like twice or thrice. So I was focusing on the chapters which I lacked concept or where I thought I was making more mistakes. That's how I prepared.
So basically, first time when you read, there was one reading of the question. Then you did the first solving of the question bank. There also you revised. Then you did the second solving.
Right.
Then also you revised. So roughly
Right.
three times Swagger book. And
Roughly
did
three
you
times.
solve our
Right.
sectional test by any chance?
Yes. So I gave all the sectional tests. I was getting good marks in those section tests. Yes.
Okay. What was the accuracy?
Approximately 60-65%.
Okay, perfect. And how many mock papers did you solve before the exam?
So before the exam, I solved three Fintelligent mocks and two carb mocks, which was officially provided.
Okay. And what was the average score you were getting in those mocks?
Right. Yeah. So there's a trick here. So in my first Fintelligent mock, I did not score well. So there I was very much disappointed. But again, I went through what all happened. Like I solved the first mock precisely in the evening after I went to the gym. So I thought that played a part where I was not able to score well because I was not much focused. So from the second mock, I was giving it like ample time in the morning. Like I was sitting
Okay.
properly with all everything in a fresh mind, and I was giving it. So the first mock I had like 40, around 40, which I was like very much disappointed because I wanted to score around 60%. So from the second mock onwards, I was getting around 50, 55.
Okay. And what about the GAP sample paper, the two sample papers?
Right there also I scored around 55, which was 68%. So I felt like it was good enough.
Okay, okay, interesting. And with respect to the overall confidence level before entering on the exam date, what was the confidence level that you had?
So I had good confidence because I thought I had prepared well. I took out much of my time and did not go for internship and everything. So I think I prepared well. So I was confident, but obviously, you never know what can happen in an examination because the level of competition has risen every year, and that too it's part to examination. So yeah, something I had that in mind, but obviously I focus on what I know, like in my stronger parts, my question solving ability and everything. So yeah, in fact, I was
Right.
confident.
Okay, okay. And when you started solving on the day of the exam, in the first 1 hour, what happened?
So everybody who has given FRM examination or who know CAR. So the first 1 hour is very tricky. Like they ask you a very difficult question, like the first 15 questions and the last 15 questions. That what I had in mind because in part one also I faced that same thing. So, but to
Okay,
my surprise, this time I did not feel that the question was very tough from the very beginning. What happened? I still remember the exact question number. It was like question 20 or 25, 35 or 50, which was very lengthy and actually tough. Like to be very honest, it was tough. But yeah, I was able to go through them giving proper time because 80 questions in 4 hours, I did not feel the time crunch and I was able to
okay.
complete in right time.
So in between, they had put down difficult question in between.
Right, they did.
Okay. And how many calculation, how many theory questions were there in your exam?
I think approximately 25 questions were quantitative and rest were conceptual.
Okay. And 25% question, quantitative questions were easy for you to manage?
So this time what happened is in quantitative driven questions, like they were very lengthy. Like some of them were really lengthy. They were not tough, but definitely lengthy. Like no matter how good you are with your calculation, it will definitely take you like 15 minutes to solve that one question. Okay. So I
Okay.
was not going through them when I just found them. So because I had to focus on other theory questions as well. So I was keeping them
Right.
for my last. But obviously I
Mhm.
would say 50% of the question was lengthy and tough and rest were good. Like you can go through them if you have had good understanding of the concepts.
And during the entire solving of the actual exam, which book you felt, I mean, problematic again? So was it credit risk or some other book created problem for you?
I think I was very much confident with current issues and investment risk. And credit risk, I wasn't very much confident in comparison to other books. And the quantitative question that I'm saying, the lengthy ones actually came from the credit risk part. So that's
Okay.
where the whole thing happened. But yeah, I was able to do that. That was not an issue.
Okay. Was there any panic, any disappointment during the entire exam time?
Since we get a lot of time for part two, I think timing is not an issue. So this was my strategy. I was purposely giving more time to the theory questions because I know in quantitative question you get the answer, right? You know whether it's right or you have not got the answer. But in theory,
Right.
FRM examination, you are always confused between those two options. So it's not about choosing the right answer; it's about choosing the better answer. So I was purposely giving more time to the theory questions, even if I know that this is the right answer. I was going through the question again, like reading all the options again, just making sure that I'm 100% sure that this is the right answer.
And when you came out of the exam center, what was your confidence level?
So in comparison to part one examination, I was more confident. I thought that I have given the examination is a very befitting way. I was able to bolster through the questions. So I was more confident this time than the last time.
Okay. And any number in your mind that out of 80, how many corrects you will get? Any number around that?
I did not have any number because in FRM examination you cannot be sure with the options. It's very difficult to get the right options since they are more conceptual questions. But yeah, I was definitely somewhere I was realized I knew that I could pass.
And what are the quarters that you have got now for each book?
So I've got 2, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. So in credit it's a middle quartile. The rest is good.
Perfect. So almost all the books it is two and one. Only credit
Right.
risk you've got slightly down, it's three. And you were anticipating
Right.
three third quartile in that book.
Well, not really, but since we all know that the result this time is a bit tough, you already explained in one of your videos that part two results of May 2024 hasn't been that great. So I was happy that I could just score well.
And with respect to the, if I ask you like three tips from your side, how to prepare for this exam?
See, again, I'm not going to say things like work hard, be consistent. I think those are prerequisites for any competitive examination, whether it's FRM. The first point that I will make is understand the examination. When I say understand the examination, I mean that understand what kind of questions GARP is asking. Ask your teachers or mentors, or maybe ask from people who have cleared the examination, or see the videos of people over the internet who have cleared the examination. See, again, it will
Right,
not guarantee that you're going to get the same kind of question, but it will give you a lot of more perspective around the examination, which is more
right.
important. Second point is that solve as many questions as you can. I think there is no alternative to this. The only thing that you can do is solving more questions. Had it been part one, I would have said there's a 50-50% between reading Swizzer and solving questions. But in part two, definitely the key is solving questions. I don't care if you can solve like 5,000 questions, go for it. 10,000 questions, go for it. But obviously, learn from your mistakes. The mistakes that are making you have to learn from them. Any conceptually problematic situation or any subject where you think that you lack conceptual clarity, go through it also, because that's the most important key. The third point would be give respect to every subject, because see, I am involved in different. I'm like included in different FRM part two groups, and I've seen different results. So I've seen people not clearing because of that one quartile in that one particular subject, right? And that regret is bad. So I don't want that anybody would not want to be in that category. So please give respect to every subject, whether it's current issues or marketers. Doesn't matter what the weightage is in the exam.
Wonderful. And one final question, that what is that one mistake that you made and you do not want anybody else to do that in the preparation journey?
Right. I think so I was more keen on solving the questions than reading the Schweitzer book. Somewhere that played a part in my middle quartile credit risk. So I don't regret it, but I think they should be a more balanced approach to the thing. So I would say definitely one should have a more balanced approach between solving questions and reading Schweitzer.
So basically, you found that it was a slightly weak book for you. So more reading should have would have ideally helped you. That is what you're saying.
Yes. Again, yes, because
But
also that they changed a lot of syllabus and credit risk at the end of
yes,
the year.
yes.
That also played a very big reason.
Okay. A lot of people have done credit risk later only because the books were also not out,
Right.
so material was not available easily. So wonderful. I
Right.
mean, thank you very much, Ayush, for taking out time and talking to us on this, because this conversation will help a lot of students to plan the way you had planned when
Right.
the reading has to be completed, when the first set of question bank, second set of question bank. So that planning will give them a lot of guidance, a lot of motivation to go and clear this exam. So thank you again. Thank you very much for joining in and being a part of this
Thank
conversation.
you. Thank you.